and there's lots of ways to get around it. Okay, the other thing is just to look at your appliances in your kitchen and make sure you've got stuff. So if you think, for instance, if you think that some of our super shakes might be a good option for you, if you're someone who doesn't have brekkie at the moment, but you need something fast that you can sip on throughout the morning that's going to sustain you, well, you need a really good shaker bottle. You know, you might need a little NutriBullet if you haven't got one. So, you know, just go through and think about what additional items is going to help get my kitchen in better shape. A key one is a really good little frying pan, a good quality, non-stick frying pan that, you know, there is nothing worse than cooking up your breakfast in the morning and you can't clean the pan, so therefore you don't do it. Kirsten's going to say...
I'm just putting in one, I think it's gas.
You know, there's lots of things in this process that we don't have control over. One is your outcome goal. So you can't say that on the last day of this challenge that if you put down that you wanted to lose 5.6 kilos, that on day dot of the challenge you're going to have lost 5.6 kilos. Okay, you can't control that outcome. But what you can control are your decisions and your behaviours that are going to lead to that outcome. So one thing that I didn't point out in that goal setting worksheet is that once you have got to that point where you've worked out what your outcome is, do you think that for the rest of the challenge you focus on the outcome? Or do you think that you focus on the behaviour goals? One of them you forget. Which one? Yeah. Once you know what it is that you want and you've set that, it's going to sit in there. You're going to know what it is. But you don't want to keep going back to that outcome. I haven't got that outcome yet. I haven't got that outcome yet. Okay, I want you to, in a way, set your outcome goal but forget about it and purely focus on those behaviour goals. Because those behaviour goals are what you can control. And they are what's going to get you to that outcome. So, you know, you can't control how fast your body's going to metabolize your fat cells, and voila, you're going to lose, because there's so many things that control whether you're in calorie surplus or calorie deficit. You can't control those things. You can't control the number on the scales at the end of the day. Okay, so these couple of tasks that we're going to do, they're about thinking about the things that we have control over. And there's lots of those small little things, exactly like the lady with the lollies. You know, all those things, those small habits, they have a huge impact at the end of the day of how your body looks, how your body feels, but how your body works as well, okay? So one great thing to do, I know people have done this, you know, year after year, but what happens is actually each year you're in a different stage. You know, things change. You might have had not such a great couple of months for various reasons, and you might sit down and do your 3-day food diary and go, wow, look at all those things that have slipped back in. You may have done really well and looked at it between last year and this year and go, oh wow, you know, actually, you know what, I've stuck with these goals, so I'm going to actually try and incorporate some new ones. But you don't know what those things are until you sit down and write them down. So the 3-day eating record is just about being really honest and examining what you're eating each day. It's only for 3 days, but it gives you a really good idea without us changing anything. You come up yourself with some really great ideas of what you can do to improve your eating. And it helps you to realise that there's small things that put us into a calorie surplus each week. So there's loads of ideas on there. Those ideas I've put together over the years because they're things that you guys have told me. So they're the really common ones. So have a look at your limitations, things like travelling for work, shift work, you know, feeling like you're too busy to grocery shop, so therefore you have takeaway, you know, all of those types of things you need to think about. You know, if you're doing that, going over to the IGA or Foodworks and grabbing a Foods meal is a million times better than stopping in at Macca's on your way home. You've still got your takeaway, but it is better than your Macca's option, okay? So has anyone actually done their limitations yet? Has anyone